Nicole Kane is one of a kind. My experience teaching with her, this is my 3rd year, and I feel like I've learned the most from Nicole. Her enthusiasm and her kindness is just contagious. She cares so much about the students. Her philosophy of teaching is wrapped all around love and kindness, and she goes above and beyond what is expected of an educator. She's not someone who is only caring from 8 o'clock to 3 o'clock. She takes it home, she thinks about it, she problem solves. These students are her kids. I'm just very excited that she was Educator of the Year because she is very deserving. And I feel like because Nicole is so humble and she doesn't do this for any recognition, she does it because she loves kids and it's her passion. She's meant to be a teacher. She's just natural at it. And I love that she's finally being recognized for her hard work, dedication, and her love and passion for children. She has taught me so much, and I'm lucky to have her be my mentor, my friend, and my co-worker. Congratulations, Nicole.
Miss Kane is an exemplary educator. She's resilient, creative, caring, and kind. She goes above and beyond to care for her students and fellow staff members here at Lincoln Elementary School. Miss Kane has taken the lead in the implementation of Ready Math at the kindergarten level. Miss Kane has been awarded numerous grants which have supported the STEAM initiatives for the Canton School District. These grants have funded numerous activities and projects and products that she's using in the classroom to enhance the education of her students. She's embraced the district's 4 pillars, and she has led numerous professional development opportunities for the staff at Lincoln School and fellow staff members in the Canton School District. Congratulations, Miss Kane. It's been a pleasure working with you. I'm proud of you, and I appreciate the fact that you make a difference in everybody's lives that you touch.
So I'm so excited that Nicole Kane has earned this honor of being the Educator of the Year. Nicole is by far one of the best teachers that I have had the opportunity of working with. I've worked with her for the past 2 years. In that capacity, she's welcomed me into her classroom. We seamlessly co-teach together. She offers an environment that is nurturing and challenging and innovative and creative. She is a leader in the district. She is my go-to girl for any new wild idea that I might have. She is always willing to implement ideas like that and does so with such fidelity and grace, and I'm just so happy for you, Nicole. Congratulations.
So I worked with Miss Kane at Lincoln School for 10 years, and immediately when I had to write this letter, I just think of Miss Kane's compassion and her caring ways for all of her students, and not only for her general education population of students, but for the special needs students in her classroom. She is so accepting and so amazing to work with because she strives for just 100% in every area she does. She is always asking for input and suggestions and ways to meet the needs of the students with special needs, and wants to brainstorm and work together as a team, and I really appreciate that. And I know so many parents are so excited when they hear that their child is in Miss Kane's class, because she truly goes above and beyond and works so hard each and every day to do the best job that she can. And I feel so blessed to not only have her as a coworker, but a friend, and she is more deserving than anyone for this award. Congratulations, Nicole.
Wait a second. I thought I nominated Bob as Best Dressed Business Person of the Year. In all honesty, Bob is well deserving of this honor. I've been fortunate enough to work with Bob on the Spoon River Partnership Board for over the last year, with Bob as our president. And Bob's involved in many different projects through the hospital and through the foundation. You always see that they're involved in projects like the bicycle project with the Park District, with their partnerships at Spoon River College. They're always doing renovations at their hospital to make it up to date and on the cutting edge, and they're always expanding their network area with new facilities. Personally, my wife and I became involved with Bob on our project at the venue several months back. We'd been discussing a banquet facility for quite a long time when we were approached by Bob and the foundation about partnering on the program. and honestly, it was the best business decision we could have made. They brought a lot of great leadership and ideas and support to us that we wouldn't have otherwise had, and we're just really thankful for this partnership, and it's worked out great for us. We really came a long ways from our first, I think our first or second meeting when Bob originally came up with the name, which was Bob and Jed's Awesome Adventure, and moving forward to today with just about having the venue complete. So again, it's just been a great resource for us, and I think Bob can attest to being a great leader and a great business person is all about surrounding yourself with great people. And we've been fortunate enough to work with their marketing department, their catering department, environmental services, and their maintenance department, and really he's got a great group of people that work with him that I'm sure he could again attest makes his job so much easier. So anyway, we're just really thankful for this partnership we created, and congratulations on a well-deserved honor.
My pleasure and honor to nominate Bob Senna for Businessman of the Year. I've known him since 2006. I've reported to different managers on our organizational structure over the years. I've reported to him probably for the last 10 years. And I believe that he exemplifies the true traits of a leader. He's a role model for the directors. And one thing I can say is, probably as working as a nurse, before I became director of the school, I thought of the hospital as a nonprofit institution, and I don't think I thought that much about revenue and expenses. But reporting to the president, Bob has made sure that we understand the financial aspects. And it is a business. Most people don't think of a hospital as a business, but it is. If you don't have revenue, then you're not going to be able to cover your expenses. And unfortunately, a lot of small rural hospitals have gone out of business or been bought by a large corporation because they didn't have funding. So over the years that I've seen Bob here, the health system has expanded. You know, we have clinics in other towns. We offer services. We have equipment just as good as a larger institution in many respects. And our school has equipment. We have simulators just like you'd see in Peoria. I feel like the hospital has grown and really Bob is concerned and active in the community. The school's active in the community. Our students do a lot of community work. Bob is, well, you may have seen the bicycle downstairs. That's one aspect we always look at is, as managers, what services does our hospital and our school need to offer to the people of the community. So I just think he is an excellent candidate, and I'm excited that he got chosen, and congratulations, Bob.
There are two efforts I'd like to talk about that Bob Senna, the Graham Hospital and Graham Medical System have been involved with, and they're the Canton Area Heritage Center and also the Canton Bike Share. Both of them are new, and one of them still untapped resources for the community, but Graham has been very involved, and Bob has had a big hand in both of them. Start out talking about the Heritage Center. It's located, as you know, in the Rushford Building on South Main, and both Bob and Graham saw the importance of having a center like this that preserves the heritage and history of the community. I think that kind of fits in with their mission, being an institution for so many years throughout the Canton community. So the Heritage Center folks were looking for a place to land as a location for the new facility. So they worked with Graham. It's turned out to be a great partnership, and the bottom line is that it's a facility that is great for the community. It's an asset. It's something that's going to be there a long time and will help future generations, not only the present, but future generations, find out what made our community tick in its formative years until now and beyond. So also the Canton Bike Share program, that's something new. If you're not familiar with Bike Share, you go to a large city such as Chicago, St. Louis, Minneapolis, Indianapolis, even Peoria. There are bike share systems in place. You see them especially in their downtown areas where there will be racks of bikes, and You can rent them using a smartphone. And when the Park District opened the trail system between Lakeland and Wallace Parks back in 2015, we thought it'd be nice to have a limited bike share system in Canton so that people could ride not only between the parks on the trails, but also throughout the whole community. So we knew that we were a very small community. In fact, we're a trailblazer in this, and that Canton is one of the smallest communities throughout the United States that is trying a bike share, but we're confident it's going to work. So when the Park District sent out an email to the city, the chamber, the Spoon River Partnership, and Graham, just to see if there'd be some interest, the first response we got, not surprisingly, was from Bob, and it came in the form of an email that said simply, and this is typical Bob, Graham is interested. So we formed a meeting amongst all those entities and talked about the usage of it over the following months. Back then, that was in June of 2017. We researched it, talked about it, finally came up with, when the dust settled, of a partnership between Graham and the Canton Park District to put this together along with the full support of the other entities that were in it from the get-go. So it's something that will debut in the spring of this year as soon as the weather looks good. And we're very excited about it. The Graham Hospital is. They see it, as does the Park District and the rest of the entities in the entire city. It's a wellness initiative. It's good for people, provides recreational opportunities, transportation opportunities. It'll be a good thing for visitors when they come to town. So this is where all the nicknames that Bob has achieved, we'll say, over the years. Biker Bob certainly fits when it comes to bike share. He's been a very big part of it, without a doubt. So one thing from working with Bob, and I'll work with Bob on a project any day, he provided leadership for both the Heritage Center and the bike share in terms of Bob looks at things, is it good for the community and its people? Is it good for Graham? Is it affordable? And is it sustainable? And if you can answer positively to those questions, it's something that's going to work. So there are two projects that we're pretty excited about, and I know Bob and Graham both are too. Many of you here in the audience tonight know Bob. He's an interesting guy. He doesn't let a lot of grass grow under his feet. He's always on a mission, and I've always thought Bob is probably one of those guys who's pretty flexible and limber and loose, we could say. He doesn't sit still long enough for his muscles to get tight and stiff. Wherever he's going, it doesn't take long for him to get there. It's on a straight line. Bullet Bob is another nickname I hear is thrown around down at Graham quite a bit, and it fits him very well. So whatever he does, he gets there, he gets it done, and moves on to the next. And look at him sitting out there in the audience tonight. Bob, right now I can't see where you are, but you're somewhere out there. Look at him. Looks like he's right out of GQ, but he's never stuffy about that. The people at Graham will tell you the same thing. He does make the rest of us look bad, though, with his everyday fashion statements that he always makes. But he's also not hesitant to brag about the good deals he can find on the many suits that he wears. And we also hear that he's a master at finding the half-price necktie. So, and then there are the emails. If anybody knows Bob, chances are the emails are what you know him for the most, because every one he writes is about that long. He's the most efficient email user I know. Most people's text messages are longer than Bob's longest email, so he's pretty well known for that, but again, he's efficient. He says in an email what he needs to say and moves on. So Brevity Bob is another good example of a nickname for him on that. But I'll tell you, Bob, we're fortunate to have you in Canton. You're a good dude, and if the Business Person of the Year award fits you just like one of those good deal suits that you wear all the time. Congratulations, Bob Senna.
Hello, I'm Jason Parsons with Canton Union School District. I'm the curriculum director here. I'd just like to take a brief moment to congratulate Bob on the 2019 Business Person of the Year. It's been an honor working with Bob over the last couple of years here at the school district. Him and I have served on several different committees, one being the Citizens Advisory Committee, where members of the community got together with district staff, talked about some of our programs. Bob was instrumental in helping us design our new biomedical science lab there at the high school, where we've had many kids sign up for these classes. Even this year, we have students that are advocating for a third level of a biomedical class. Bob helped us make some connections with our teaching staff out at the high school and what a biomedical classroom or lab would look like. So we took those ideas. Bob helped us with the foundation at Graham, and they donated some funds to help renovate this classroom, and now we have a double biomedical classroom at the high school named after Graham Health Systems, which is a great honor for the Graham partnership that we have established. Also in these meetings, Bob talked about some needs for our community, about having students stay here for jobs. They had a need to fill some hard-to-fill positions at the hospital. We're always looking for new opportunities and partnerships for our high school students to get pathways into different careers. With this idea of the new biomedical classroom and Graham's partnership, we come up with a Graham Scholar Program, and Bob was kind of the key person on creating that idea and having a bridge between the Graham Health Systems and the school district. Last year we had several kids walk across the graduation stage and have their medical field education, post-secondary education paid for, and a job at Graham. So without his vision and his insight on what the needs of the community and his caring about building our community up with a partnership with the school district, that wouldn't have been possible without Bob. So I want to say congratulations to Bob, and we look forward to working with you in the future. I'll leave with one last thing. In some of these meetings, we kind of were talking about, the impact of Graham on the community and the impact of the school district. And there was a phrase that Bob and I kind of come up with, that between Graham and the school district, we're going to change one student and one patient at a time. Congratulations, Bob. It's an honor well deserved. So thank you for all that you do for our community.
I think my favorite thing about Bob is that he challenges us every single day. Ask questions, think outside the box, and just keeps us moving forward as an organization.
Bob clearly leads by example. He is absolutely amazing for us to be able to work with. Such an honor.
My favorite thing about Bob is his leadership. He actually goes out and visits with staff. We've never had that before at Graham. And his emails. I love the encrypted emails that you have to try to figure out.
My favorite thing about working with Bob is seeing that he's committed to the community and then actually seeing those projects through and making a difference each day.
Congratulations, Bob!
Chad Murphy serves as my treasurer for the partnership board and has served in that capacity for a couple of years. So I've known Chad for several years, but have had the pleasure to get to work with him in that capacity. And one of the things that I really admire and appreciate about Chad as his role on the partnership board is that he is encouraging, but he is willing to provide advice and direction, and it always comes with a sense of humor, which I completely appreciate. And then the other thing about Chad is several years ago, someone said to me that you should always pay rent to your community, and that resonated with me. And I feel like Chad is the epitome of someone who has paid rent to his community, whether that has been with his time on the Fulton County Board, on the Y Board, on the partnership board, the stuff that he does in our local theater groups. The list goes on and on. We could say a lot of things about Chad Murphy, but the one important thing I want to say to Chad Murphy is congratulations on winning the Citizen of the Year. You truly deserve it.
I was blessed to have Chad join the Canton YMCA Board of Directors in 2010, and he has been a fantastic volunteer ever since. I think he's served on about every committee He was the finance chair for several years, and he's been our board treasurer for 5 years. There just isn't anything that Chad won't do when he's committed to an organization, and he's been very committed to RY and to many other organizations in town. But definitely when things don't go according to the A plan, Chad is somebody that you want on your team. He just will generate ideas, suggestions, and he's just willing to step in and do whatever needs done. He's the kind of person who's very thoughtful and realistic, and at the same time very positive in what can be a negative world. But I think his most special gift is being able to bring you to laughter or tears and action through his own words and his many talents and just his great examples of service to our community. One of my very favorite memories of Chad is that he owns the title for the most entertaining board devotion ever that had our entire board laughing to the point of tears, and yet all in a way that was very relevant to the YMCA. And I am positive that whoever was there will remember that devotion. So Chad, I just so appreciate all the times that you said yes for the YMCA. You will forever and always be on my list of people that I can count on. And I just want to thank you for who you are and all you do for Canton and all the people that you know and love. Congratulations, Chad.
I first met Chad Murphy when he was, about 17 years old, because he used to play the trumpet for us when we would do these musicals in Fulton County or maybe even Peoria. And we have been intertwined with our lives ever since that day, whether we've been working on entertainment or as co-workers at Spoon River College. Now, many people don't know that Chad was actually an integral part of the SRC Foundation, even though it wasn't his job. And literally, over $100,000 can be actually contributed to Chad's involvement in one way or another. He always did this behind the scenes thing for us. He would kind of be the setup man for me. He would talk to individuals or organizations about the benefits of giving to the SRC Foundation and what that would mean to the future. And then he'd turn it over to me. Well, then I mostly got the credit for getting these donations and contributions, but actually Chad deserved the credit. He didn't want it, but he does deserve it. But most of all, Chad is an extremely talented performer, and he shares his gifts with all of us to make us laugh or to make us think, and in some instances, if you're his director, to make you cry. But perhaps you've seen him singing some Sinatra tunes in one of the local establishments or at karaoke, or you've had the opportunity to see him do a Broadway show or a comedy or a musical review. And you always walk away feeling really entertained. What you may not know is that Chad almost always does that entertainment for somebody else's benefit or some other cause. Several of the shows that he's been in, I've had a lot of fun with. He's been in Bleacher Bums, where he played this bettor sitting out in the Wrigley Field at a Cub Cardinal game. He was in A Tuna Christmas, where he played a myriad of roles, from a child to a young teenage girl to a cranky, crazy old man to an old woman with an extremely large bosom. But maybe my favorite role that he's played was as a young child in the Broadway musical, the 25th Annual Putnam County Spelling Bee. He did this dance because he had a magic foot that would help him spell the words in the contest. He was hilarious. He was an ultimate nerd. But the thing is that he actually ended up at the end of the show getting the girl of his dreams, Carla Bobel. Now, you may have heard that Chad has difficulty remembering lines or song lyrics. I'm here to tell you that that is 100% absolutely true. And I have a great example of that. A few years back, we were doing Man of La Mancha, and Chad played Sancho, the sidekick to Don Quixote, and he had a solo.
in which he was singing to Aldonza about how much he admired and loved his friend Don Quixote. Well, about halfway through the song, Chad looked down and a bucket was out of place. And his mind immediately went to, why is that bucket there? Who moved that bucket? Is that bucket going to stay there? Which meant he completely lost the lyrics to the song. He then spent over a minute singing, I like him, I like him, I like him, I like him. I have no idea how the actress Aldonza made it through without busting out laughing, but the one thing that I do know is that by the end of that song, the audience themselves really knew that Sancho liked Don Quixote. And Chad always says that he loves having been in shows but not being in shows. Personally, I love having Chad Murphy in shows. He brings joy and happiness to our lives just when we need it most. So, little brother, you enrich us all. I love you, and I am so happy that you received this designation as Citizen of the Year because, well, it's a role you play every day.
Phil, I am honored to be here with your cousin Mika to congratulate you today for being named Citizen of the Year. I think we can all agree that you are very deserving of this honor.
No, it's Chad.
What? No?
Chad? Chad who lives with a dog named Dave Chad?
Yeah, we picked Chad.
You chose Chad?
Seriously, have you seen the things he writes about me on Facebook? He won't see that, right?
Chad, we have never had any doubt whatsoever about your worthiness for this recognition. In fact, of all the people in Canton, you are most certainly one of them.
Absolutely. I'm an only child, and though Chad is my cousin, he's really like a brother to me. A much, much, much older, less wise, and shorter brother. And let's be honest, he's not as funny. And he's a shorter brother who should probably consider throwing out his sweater vest collection. You know, it's 2019, Chad. They do make sweaters with sleeves now. But our relationship has been a wonderful thing for me to have. I truly believe everyone should have someone in their lives they can look down upon.
Same here, Mika. You know, when Katie and I were blessed with our daughter last year, Chad was one of the first people that we wanted in her life, and for so many reasons. In fact, she's 5 months old now, and she received a stuffed animal for Christmas this year. The first name that came to our mind for that stuffed animal was Chad. Now, I know you have. I don't know if you have seen Chad sit on a couch. He's a true master of his craft. But if you have, you'll understand why Chad is the perfect name for Autumn's new sloth.
Normally, I need to have a little alcohol in my system to compliment you. But in all seriousness, Chad, in a town full of people who deserve this honor, there is not one more deserving than you. I always say life didn't bless me with a brother, it blessed me with a Chad. And I couldn't be prouder of you than I am at this moment.
Chad, you have as strong of a love of Canton as anyone I've ever met. And you have a servant's heart that you use to prove it day in and day out. You have changed so many lives right here in this room, including my own, for the better. Congratulations, Chad.
And cut.
Oh, now we have to listen to his speech.
Oh, God, let's just hope he wrote it down. You ever seen that dude on stage? The dude can't memorize